Welcome back to another edition of Mike Ferry TV. My name is Tony Smith, coach, speaker, and trainer for the Mike Ferry organization, and I'm excited to be here while Mike's out on the road doing some of his work, filling in for him today. Okay, this is the week of July 8th. We are all getting fired up, ramped up, excited because we've got our superstar retreat coming up in a couple weeks. I hope you're all set to be there. So today, I wanted to talk a little bit about how your overall presentation affects your income, right? Mike has said for years that one of the most important things that we could possibly do is improve the strength and the quality of our overall presentation. And I'm not just talking about a presentation in front of a buyer or seller. I'm talking about the way you present to the world, for that matter. And if you present in the right way, you make more money. This time of year, most people in real estate get distracted. They're out on vacation, they're traveling, they start thinking of other things. And if we can just keep your head in the game with some of the work that we would ask you to do, your income goes up. And one place to always refer to when it comes to getting better is the strength of our presentation. So I jotted a few notes down for you, a couple thoughts. I just want to roll through these with you today. Okay, the first thing I wrote down is your presentation is about giving the customer what they want. If you just step back from him for a second, what does a buyer or seller want from a real estate agent? And I'm talking about the whole package, okay? Sellers, we know for a fact they've always wanted the same things. They want to know, how much is my home worth? They want to know, how long is it going to take to sell? Of course, they want to know, how much am I going to put in my pocket when it's all over? And they want to know, what are you going to do to get it done? Why should I pick you over the competitors? Well, a big part of the presentation is, why should they pick you over the competitors? Why? In most markets, we know that there's thousands and thousands of real estate agents that they have to choose from. How do you rise up out of that? Well, you rise up out of it with the strength of your presentation. I wrote down this quote for you. 85% of our success financially, especially in the sales industry, comes from our ability to negotiate, our ability to communicate, and our ability to lead people. Surprisingly, only 15% of our success as a real estate salesperson comes from our technical knowledge about the process. So let that sink in. 85% of your money will come from your ability to negotiate, your ability to communicate, and your ability to lead people. Well, isn't a presentation all about just that? If we work on it, we make more money. I wrote this point down. Make a commitment to learn what to say and how to say it in every selling situation. Are you ever going to spend any time with the Mike Ferry organization without us talking about sales skills? Nope. We're going to talk about sales skills until everybody has them. All right. And how much time have you spent so far this year really coming to learn what to say and how to say it in every selling situation? The more time you spend at this, the better your overall presentation is. I made this point. Understand the value of professionalism. Professionalism. Would you say the real estate industry in the last few years has been getting more professional? Have they been staying the same? Or has the industry honestly gotten a little less professional? Might be a fair argument that our industry has gotten a little less professional. So if we focus on being more professional, is that part of a great presentation? Yes. When's the last time you upgraded the quality of your eye contact, the quality of your handshake, the quality of the way you dress and show up to work every day, the quality of the way you manage your time? Is your car clean? Are all your materials crisp and exciting? If we upgrade the overall professionalism we have, the world takes notice. They take notice in a higher way. Where do you need to upgrade yours? I made this note. If you really understand, motivated buyers and sellers want aggressive and confident agents. Kind of a two-part thing. Am I in a position where I'm finding enough motivated buyers and sellers? That's one whole issue, prospecting, right? Am I finding enough motivated buyers and sellers? And then two, if you think about running into motivated buyers and sellers, they want confidence and aggressiveness. It's what they want. In fact, it almost seems to go hand in hand. The higher level of motivation, the more they want confidence and aggressiveness. The lower the level of motivation, the less they care about that. Okay? So am I able to present the confidence and aggressiveness I need out in the world today? Well, how do you improve confidence? It's been proven that consistency improves confidence. If you only show up to work once in a while, how confident are you going to be about the job you've chosen? If you only prospect once in a while, how confident could you possibly be? If you only present to a seller every 6 or 8 or 10 weeks, how much confidence can you have? You can improve your confidence by getting more consistent. Practice and role play, right? Show up on time, right? You think about aggressiveness. Aggressiveness is our ability to ask the hard questions. If we learn how to ask the hard questions to the clients that we run into, that is aggressiveness. Well, it's pretty hard to ask the hard questions if we don't want to know the answer. And we know that if we don't want to know the answer, it's typically because we don't have too many. So we're afraid of losing the ones we have. Consistency turns into aggressiveness, and it turns into confidence, which is what the seller and buyer want. I wrote this point down. Confidence and authority comes from not only knowing what to say, but also knowing the market stats and how to deliver them. How much time are you spending these days really coming to understand the market stats? Are you spending time to look at how many properties are coming to market each week? Do you know how many properties are selling each month? Do you know what's happening with the supply and demand? What's happening with the average sales prices, and what are the trends? If you stay in the know about what the market is doing with real stats, not hearsay, not conjecture, real stats. And if you can stay in that zone and you can learn to present those stats to the public, it equals the kind of presentation that somebody wants. Spend more time on the market stats. I wrote this down. The truth. Boy, one thing I know for a fact, Mike Ferry has been delivering the truth to all of us real estate agents for 50 years. And because he's willing to deliver the truth, even if we don't like it, we look at him as an authority. We look at him for the answers. And if we look at him for the answers, then his business thrives. Well, isn't that the same thing for you in your sales business? Are you able to deliver the truth to a seller when their house needs repairs? Can you honestly deliver the truth to a seller about the right price of their home? Can you share with a buyer the exact steps it's going to take to get a property purchased and some of the pitfalls that they might run into? If you can do these things, you become famous for it. It's part of your overall presentation. Mike told me one time, I'm not as concerned that everybody likes me, but I'm very concerned that everybody knows that I'm going to stay true to the truth. Very important. I wrote this down. If we want to improve our presentation, we've got to constantly consider the balancing act between asking questions and making statements. Are you spending the majority of your time when you're presenting to buyers and sellers, when you're prospecting for leads, asking questions, or are you spending the majority of your time making statements? Great presenters are constantly trying to tip the scale to asking questions. Where are you in your overall presentation so far this year? I know you can improve on that one, okay? Great presenters are always looking to improve their efficiency in everything they do. We track all the numbers, right? If it takes you 3 hours to talk to 10 people, are you ever going to talk to enough people to get enough leads to move forward? You have to become more efficient. If you go out on 10 appointments and you only come back with 2 listings taken, which is NAR standard, by the way, that's not efficient, and the clients don't buy into that lack of efficiency. So where do you need to become more efficient in the second half of this year when it comes to running your business? Is it with your prospecting efficiency, your conversion rate with your leads, your conversion rate with your appointments? I'd take a close look at it, okay? The only way to get better is with repetitions. So if you're not putting in enough reps, either prospecting repetitions, lead follow-up repetitions, or presenting repetitions, it's really hard to get better without putting in the reps. One thing I know is you can practice an intense role play with a seller and intense role play with prospecting every day, which increases your reps. Very important, okay? I wrote this down. If you really want to become a great presenter, you have to understand that closing for the signature is a natural ending to a great presentation, okay? If you're not getting enough contracts signed for the appointments you're going on, the first place you have to go look is at the quality and the strength of your overall presentation. And yes, I'm talking about eye contact and smiling and handshake and the way you dress and obviously the scripts and dialogues. It's all part of it, isn't it? If any of those pieces are missing, then there's a hole in your presentation, which diminishes the results and diminishes the income. So where are you, right? It's repetitions, okay? Now, let's understand something, okay? The more changes that come in the real estate industry, the more agents get locked into, concerned, fearful, paralyzed by the changes that are going on. So part of our job is to keep you in action. If you can stay in strong forward action when everyone else is getting paralyzed, there are still a huge number of buyers and sellers out there every single day that need your help. But you're not going to run into them if you're not into full action. So 2 things, pretty simple this week. I'd like you to look at upgrading your presentation to start the second half of this year. And I'd like you to really examine, am I fully in action nonstop? If you do those 2 things, you're going to keep winning. Thanks for your time.